Hello everyone, finally I found some time to record the Q&A, the answers for you questions that you asked me in the last video. But before that, I would like to say a few news from the scene, from the Quake 2 scene. So we finished the 2v2, the world tournament organized by AIT from Russia. I will share the link for the entire tournament in the description, and of course I will upload all demos that I played in this league. That was great idea from AIT. Thanks for letting me play, because I joined at the very last moment of this tournament. So thanks for that. I guess this kind of competitions keep Quake alive, because for the last couple of weeks we could see a lot of players quaking on public servers at evening, and definitely ideas like this keep Quake alive for much longer. So thanks for that. Also, we had a pickup. We had a 4 versus 4 tournament organized by Fasadin, but we didn't finish this one because nobody wanted to challenge our team. Me, Shug, Norman and Fasadin. Like, we played maybe 2 or 3 matches, then opposite teams didn't find the time to play against us. But after New Year, I guess mid-January, there will be draft league, so everyone can join the league. Of course, I will share more news after New Year, when the league will start, or just before start, so everyone can sign up. There will be drafting teams every week. Different teams, everyone can join. So if you are beginner or you are old pro, you can join and probably enjoy Quake to TDM once again. So that can be also pretty interesting competition, and Fasadin said there will be some prizes too, like some trophies for the winners or potential participants. So from this place, I already invite you to join this cup after New Year, if you still would like to play some Quake. So that's pretty all for now. Also, I know there is a last grand final in USA, Scooby's team against someone, I don't remember. Scooby's team already won the first grand final because they are coming from the loser bracket, so they have to win twice. They did win first match 3-2 probably. Of course, you can watch his matches. I will share the link in descriptions to Scooby's channel. Awesome player, like everyone who watched him in 2005, 2003. There is still possibility like that, because he never changed his play style, and his skill is top player, top TDM player, and one of the best in entire Quake 2 history. So that's a pleasure to watch, to be honest, and I'm very happy because I was the one who bring him back after 15 years inactivity. Once I asked him maybe you want to play because blah blah blah, and he downloaded the game once again, and he plays the same as in the past. So from now, I would like to invite you to these upcoming events after New Year. But now, let's start the Q&A. You sent around 25 questions, and I will try to answer in the best possible way for that. Like most of them are in English, so I also will try to answer in English, but you know, it's not so good for me, so not so comfortable. But I will try to do my best. Some of the questions are pretty interesting, some of them are not, of course. But yeah, let's start. And first question. Gefei Chen is asking, great, just want to know your Quake 2 config about serial max FPS, sensitivity, FOV, rate and mouse DPI, and monitor size, refresh rate, and why you would like to set the value in Quake 2 config. Thanks. Okay, another question. Adam OB93. Can you beat Delita on DM1? Of course I can't. I don't think so. There is single person in this world that can beat Delita on DM1. Like, he is unbeatable. Puri is walking aim, as Delita aka Myrmidon says every time. So nobody can beat him. Another question. Radek 9951. Kto na polskiej scenie Quake grał pod ksywką strzelacz? Who played on the nickname strzelacz on Polish Quake 2 scene? So, strzelacz aka Nope. He was the player from the Białystok in Poland. I guess he came from the CTF scene because he played in the past, like 2002, 2003. Later he came back to the game, and in my opinion he was the best dueler after Scooby's era, let's say, even if Scooby was not dueler. He brings something new to Polish scene, and he did pretty good on European Quake 2 League 2. He was fighting for the grand final, but as I remember, he lost to sYnth in the semifinals after really close game in semifinals. I learned a lot from him when I started to play. That was 2008, 2009. I learned a lot from him. Like, he was raping me 50-0, 40-0, later it came like to 30-0, but every match I was learning something new. He also sent me some tips, like you should focus on even item like adrenaline, because nobody gives a fuck about it. So every small detail was very important for him. Crazy aim, great movement and positioning. Like, I learned a lot of good stuff from Nope. So yeah, strzelacz was Nope, if you know this kind of player. Another question. Paul Kiki. Why Quake 2 and not Quake 3? So answer is pretty easy, because everyone in my city, like on my neighborhood, there was a lot of players, a lot of boys who played Quake 2 in that time. That was 2004, 2005, 2006. Also, Quake 2 was pretty popular and still, let's say, is in Poland. Maybe not now, because times has changed and young people don't even know about Quake 2. But in the past, like, everyone on my neighborhood used to play Quake 2 on LAN, on multiplayer, and it's how it started. I even remember, like, in my classroom in elementary school, during free time we could join to the PC and do whatever we want, and there was Quake 2 installed. So we used to play even in elementary school. Like, I don't know how old I was, maybe like 11 years old, 12 years old. And we used to play in the free time Quake 2 with my friends in the class. So that was pretty good time. I didn't even have PC or internet connection to in my home. So yeah, we enjoyed the game, and I guess it's how it started. Like I don't remember people on my neighborhood playing Quake 3. So I guess it's all because of that. And later, when I finally had internet connection at home, one of the first games that I downloaded from the some local program like DC++. I downloaded the game together with all XXX stuff inside from my friend. I wonder why Quake 2 got like 1 gigabyte, but later I found out why, because all the crazy folders hidden in pack files and okay, never mind. It's how it started, because of people playing in my neighborhood. Another question. Do you play Quake to Q2 DM2 duels? Some demos perhaps. It's user F something. No, I don't really play DM2 duels. I guess it's not really good map for duel. I prefer to play other maps. So I never enjoyed playing DM2 duels. Maybe I did once or twice in my life. But when I played Instagip for the 3 years maybe before I started TDM and duels on the normal config, I used to play a lot of Instagip, and the server was set like automatically change after first map. We goes to DM2, DM3, DM4. Of course, after DM4 we change for the DM1 or ZTM3 to play other maps, because nobody play DM4. I never seen anyone playing DM4 in my life. But yeah, I used to play a lot of duels on DM2, but that was Instagip. Never did any something serious on DM2, if you mean normal duel. Another question, Zoom Navila 64. Hello David, with this beard and glasses you still look so young and healthy. I wonder if you would get a beer in shop without showing your ID. What is your recipe for looking so healthy and young? What is your diet and lifestyle to achieve such a health and good looks? Or maybe it's just genetics, King's genes. Thanks Zoom. I don't really know what to answer right here. I don't have any specific diet and lifestyle, like Quake and pizza is my lifestyle, if it helps. Maybe thanks to my mom, because she was also looking pretty young till 60 years old. So yeah, thanks to my mom for that. Another questions. G3 sYnth 205. David, a question if you don't mind. Between your aim, movement and your ability to make yourself difficult to hit defense, do you think one of those three is stronger than the other? Like, do you have an opinion on what your strongest gameplay traits are? That's a pretty interesting question, like one of the best we can see right here. And it's pretty tough to answer, because like dodging your skills is also coming together with your aiming and attacking. I don't know which one is stronger than other. Like I guess it's all on the pretty same like high level, and it's hard for me to pick one. Probably I cannot answer for that because it's too hard for me. Like my predicting skills are pretty good. Like I guess it's very good in duel, on TDM, like predicting. Like also one of the important things in duel are ability to play it out of control, because all the players, like most of the players, knows how to play when you are in control of the map. but when you are out of control, you have to do some special things, like you cannot do some kind of moves. You have to focus on some items and like listening around the map, like making some fake moves, dropping some bullets, some ammo, some rockets, picking the weapons. I don't know what is my stronger ability in the game. Like movement for sure is one of the best. Aim is aim is also good. Like it's hard question, man, and this question was sent already like few months ago. I wanted to reply, but I didn't know what I have to answer in that question. Like maybe it's not a question to reply by me. Maybe you can answer in the comments what you think about it, because I don't know. Like of course, ability to dodge the shots from opponent is also quite important, and it's hard. As you can see on my face, I don't really know what to answer right here. Like I guess everything what you mentioned together is on the top level, and I would not like to say like some of those is more or less important or stronger than other. Like I like it in the one section, let's say. Okay, sorry, but I cannot reply for this kind of question. Another question. Blue Lantern 133. What are you gonna play some rounds of Quake 2? When you gonna play some rounds of Quake 2 FreezeTag and let me die happy? So, first you have to tell me what is Quake 2 FreezeTag, because I know FreezeTag mode in Quake Live, but I never seen something like that in Quake 2, if you mean the same FreezeTag. So if you send me a link to download the mod, paste me IP and tell me when I can join the server, I will prefer to not let you die unhappy. Okay? So of course I'm able to do this kind of match, but let me know what I can do to play together with you, and we can do that, of course. Okay, another question. Junior 499. Who do you think is the strongest player in Russia in duel? Okay, so I don't really play many Russian players in my life in the leagues that I participated. I mean EDL. Kilu was the only one who I really played because he was the same division like me. All the rest Russian players were Division 2 or Division 3. But later, I guess maybe Kilu, Aid and Alexei are the strongest Russian players in duel. It's hard to me to pick one of those three players. Those three players are coming to my mind as the best duel players in Russia. I don't know who is the strongest from them. Okay, another question. Level 1 Crook. Hey man, I was a huge Quake 2 fan 15 years ago and would like to jump back to it. I think I'm gonna play classic Quake 2 cause I can't get to run Quake 2 RTX in more than 80 FPS. Back in the day I had DoubleJump config. It allowed me to do double jump with one click. Wanted to ask you if you know how to buy that option. That could be nice. Also wanted to ask you about textures and weapon mods. I remember downloading modded packs from the forums, but now we are in the 2023, internet changed, haha, can't seem to find anything for Quake 2. Thanks. So, Mr. Level 1 Crook. In description you have a website called quake2download.pr. and there you can find anything that you want to get, like modified weapons, textures, packs, map textures, everything that you mentioned right here, you can find in the first possible link in description. So internet has changed for better, man, in this kind of things, because you can get one click in description and find whatever you want. If we mean DoubleJump script, I never use this kind of script, but I can find a link to paste in maybe another video, but we will come to that a little bit later. So yeah, everything is possible, but you have to use your Google better. Okay? Next question. Quake 2 videos asking, how do you feel about playing on custom map, such as Awoken Pro, Q2 T4 Pro, Q3 DM6, and all the rest that you mentioned right here, like Q2 DM1 Turbo, Aerowalk QL, Marix 57. Okay, so I'm a huge fan of classic maps like DM1 to DM8, ZTN3, all the maps that we used to play in the leagues in the last 20 years. I don't need nothing more than that, but people playing only DM1, so that's a little bit sad for me, because I also enjoy other maps, and I don't really need other maps that you mentioned right here to enjoy the Quake. Of course, I like some of those, but like Q3 maps are great, but in Quake 3 we don't have some kind of weapons like lighting gun here. The game physics is also different, of course, and you are not gonna enjoy on the same level this kind of maps. They are classics in Quake 3, Quake 1, but it's not working like that in our game. So I enjoyed some of those maps that you mentioned right here, but not really in Quake 2. The only map that I like, and I guess it's one of best conversions, is Awoken from Quake Champions, created by Forbidden for Quake 2, and he did awesome job. Like you can feel the game pretty the same like in Quake Champions. Like he did it with the love for Quake, and he was great mapper for sure. So I enjoy playing this map, but nobody played this map. So yeah, it's how it is in Quake 2. Next question, Super Kraviec. Hello, could you do a tutorial on how to circle, strafe, slope, double, combined circle and strafe jumps, like show jump on Q2 DM1 and explain how to do them. When to push strafe, start the circle, etc. There is one video with jumps on Q2 DM1 on entire YouTube, but nothing is explained. Gratuluję mistrzostwa na Quake'onie. Dziękuję za gratulacje. Thanks for congrats. And if we mean about tutorial how to jump on Q2 DM1, I guess I'm able to do this kind of video. Maybe in next weeks I will try to do this kind of thing. That's a pretty good idea to explain how to make the basic jumps for the players who want to listen, if they still don't know how to do that, because most of us are, of course, like old schoolers, let's say, even if I'm new schooler because I started late. Some of those players watching my channel are pretty new in this game, so that's a great idea to make this kind of video, and I will try to explain maybe in upcoming weeks. Another question, Olymp Records asking, any plans for Quake 2 QL in the future or try other game? So I don't really have plans for Quake 2 or especially Quake Live, because Quake Live maybe I play like 2-3 times per year to shoot some rails from on the clan arena or FFA, just to show up and try different Quake because I like it. But I don't have any plans for Quake Live. If you mean Quake 2, I still gonna do this kind of videos, uploading more demos from the past, not only my demos but also other great players from the past. Recently recording a lot of great stuff for you guys, and if you mean Quake 2, of course I would like to continue to do my LANs, but since I moved to other city, I'm not so sure about it. But I will do my best to organize another one in the next year. So maybe after, maybe around January or February, I will try to set the date and already spread some news about upcoming event in maybe May, probably. So yeah, that's my plan for Quake 2. Another question, G3 sYnth 205. Why do you think the best players tend to gravitate towards 1v1 and TDM as opposed to FF8? What are your thoughts on FFA? So I like to play FFA. I enjoy playing FFA as a warm-up, just to kill time, and I really enjoy playing when there is like mess on the map, like 12 players shooting each other. It's what I like to do because I like a lot of meat in the game. You know, there is more possibility to rail opponents and hit rackets. But if you mean that's not so competitive, like players used to play leagues on TDM and duel because you can really see who is the top player playing against best players in league, in the competition like EDL, Euro Quake 2 League and all the others TDM leagues that we used to play for last 15-20 years. I don't know why people prefer TDM or duel. Like probably the competitive level and like positioning in TDM, you know, taking care about you and your opponents. Maybe like higher tempo of the match is also more interesting for the players. That's probably simple, but TDM and duel is much more enjoyable to watch and play, in my opinion. Like I can do FFA for fun, but I never seen any tournament for FFA and this kind of mode. So I like to play, but competitive Quake is much more fun. Okay, another question. Voxidus 1167. He sent like 11 or 12 questions and I will try to do my best to answer them. Hi, question 1. How much time does it take you practice to keep high level of play? So, when I started Quake 2 on the TDM and duel scene was 2008-2009. I guess January 2009 was the time when I started duels, and April 2011 I already played in EDL Grand Finals, so that was around 2 years to get me into the top level of Quake 2. In January 2011 we win in European Quake 2 League TDM with my team, so that was the most important league in that time with the top European players. So around 2 years since I started TDM, took me to play on the top level and win the European competitions. But also I started Quake 2 around 2006, but I started with Instagip, railgun only. And I played railgun only for 2 years straight. I didn't want to play any other mode because I didn't have a chance to play against this kind of players. As you know, Quake 2 is just too hard for newcomer. Like, you can join the server, you get rate 50-0 by first player that you're gonna find on the server, and probably that's gonna be your last game in your history for for Quake. So it's how I started. I started with Instagip, but later I changed for TDM and duel after all. Next question: do you have any coaches for game skills and strategy? Of course, I used to watch a lot of demos in the past, like of the best possible players in 1v1 and TDM. I could repeat one demo for 15 times just to see how enemy and how my player that I'm watching is thinking during the game. Why he's gonna do this kind of step instead of this kind of step. That was pretty interesting, and of course that was a good lessons for me. Everyone who is trying to get better at Quake, he should watch demos and analyzing them in this kind of situations. Like, not only be excited about rails and rockets and chain and frags, but try to think what your player that you're watching is thinking right now. Yeah, so this kind of shit I tried to do in the past. Do you analyze your games you've played for mistakes? Of course I did. I watched my demos, but also I watched demos of my opponents to see how I was moving and what I could do better during the match. That happened a few times in the past, like really in the past, like 10 years ago or more. 2011, 10 maybe. Okay, I never saw using zoom. Is it worthless? I could see some players using zoom. I also had a zoom in my Quake 2 config like many years ago, but I didn't really use that. So some people I know still using zoom, but definitely like 99 players are not using zoom in Quake 2. I don't know why. It's hard to answer for me. I don't use that, and some players used like 1%. Do you study Tresh Bible for Quake 2? Tresh, you mean? Okay, I didn't even know this kind of thing exists. Best map for 1v1 with equal setup for players. That's a pretty good question. I don't know which one is the most equal. Maybe Cold Duel 1 is one of those maps that are pretty equal for both sides. You have two armors, mega like between. This map can be pretty equal for players in 1v1. Of course, DM1 is not really equal, but we we all know about it probably. What else? Pretty interesting question. The first that came to my mind was Cold Duel 1. So maybe let's say Cold Duel 1. Cold Duel 1 is the most equal for the players in 1v1. Another question: what is your favorite or maps for 1v1 and or DM? You mean FFA? I think so. So my favorite maps in 1v1 are probably ZTN3, RDM2, Power Trip, I guess everything except DM1 is is acceptable for me. I hate duels on DM1, but sometimes I enjoy them. I guess everything except DM1 are my favorite, like ZTN3, Match 1, Power Trip, LDM2, LDM7, Duel 5, Duel 1, everything of the classic maps in Duel I like. I don't have any favorite. Another question, what Quake 2 mods and config you are using? Is it possible to download? Of course, it's possible to download my Quake, you have a link in the description. Another question, online cheats killed Quake 2 or not? It's not a question to me, like I don't think so. Cheats killed Quake 2. I never used, so it's hard to, to answer for me. But I remember in 2010 we had a FFA server in Poland, and there was time when one guy every fucking time came with aimbot and wallhack to play against other players. Since that time he did it pretty regularly. Nobody kicked him, nobody banned him, and after this I could see the less and less players every week, and 2 years later, like, nobody played FFA in Poland once again. So maybe in this kind of situation cheats killed Quake 2 a little bit, but more what killed Quake 2 was time. Another question. Do you have best of the best or top 20 or something of your demos, plans of uploading them on YouTube? I guess I got some my favorite matches that I played in my Quake 2 history, and I will try to upload all of my battles to YouTube, of course, but I don't know which one could be my favorite. There was a lot of great matches in the past, like from losing 2-0 to win 3-2, sorry. I don't know which is my favorite. Like, I already shared some good matches to YouTube. Like, in my opinion, one of the best matches of TDM that I played was on LAN 2018 against Tok Clan in semi-final, and DN3, how we played together was on the other level. I don't remember playing this kind of... I never remember to play on such a good level any other TDM match. Like, not even about my personal play render, but also like entire team. Like, the team play and voice communication was on the top level. Even if we played with this lineup for the first time, I never had a better communication than in this match. So maybe this one was the best. But also some of the EDL demos, like against Isbjorn, when I was losing 2-0 and I managed to win 3-2, was pretty good, because I remember like the first two maps I was pretty off, and later something changed in my mind and I started to hit like I should, and Isbjorn in that time was like massively strong and was great to win in that match. Another question, any comments regarding CTF demos on CTF matches, like dislike, played, not played? I played some CTF when I started Quake 2, because there was scale weapon and I could go and pick rail and shoot my opponents and go to pick rail after I died once again. So I didn't really play competitive CTF matches, but I can share some CTF matches on YouTube pretty soon, because I got a lot of old demos from CTF. So I will try to share some top players from the past to my channel, so you can watch some CTF on the highest possible level. Another question, 77 Victor 777. What settings allow you to make difficult jumps quite stable, like from slugs to rail at Q2 RDM2, or from box yellow armor to lamp mega at Quake 2 DM1? So I'm using like the pretty basic settings for jumping, like CL max FPS 120, R max FPS is 1000, and I'm mostly playing on these settings for last 15 years. I don't really like to change my settings and config. I guess it's all about technique, not about special FPS. Like, of course, you can do this kind of jumps on FPS 30, but I was able to do them on 66, 120, 130. So it's all about technique, not about FPS, in my opinion, because I was able to do them on few authors' FPS settings. But when I will finally do this kind of tutorial for you, I will try to make those jumps and try to explain how to do them in the easiest possible way. So you have to wait for this kind of tutorial, and I will try to explain that. Next question, Omber Bomb. What do you like more in Quake 1 than Quake 2? I guess what I like in Quake 1 more is activity of Quake 1 TDM scene. They still have like 2 divisions on 4 versus 4 leagues. It's what I miss in Quake 2, like competition on the highest level with top players on TDM. I really enjoy TDM, and I miss that thing in Quake 2. So the only thing I like more in Quake 1 is activity on TDM scene. And overall, they still have crazy activity on duel and other modes. Like, there is a lot of players, and I guess Quake 1 scene is more healthy in kind of terms like a community. Quake 2 community is pretty toxic, let's say. If you join Quake 2 Discord, like Q2 scene Discord, you can see only bullshit right there. If someone is asking about Quake 2 settings, the old players like Taigo and I don't know, other players who played this game for years are not really helpful. They are just throwing some shit like Quake 2 is dead, why you gonna play this game, instead of help. So in Quake 1 that doesn't work like that. People are really friendly, as I noticed. They still do organize some evenings like LANs and tournaments. It's what I like more in Quake 1. Probably community is more healthy, and they still do TDM. Best Quake 3 and Quake Live player. So when I started Quake 2, I also used to watch a lot of Quake Live, because I enjoyed how they play duel on the top level. Who is the strongest player in Quake Live? Probably Cypher and Rafa. Rafa, of course, he is like probably the best Quake player, or at least one of the best Quake players in entire Quake history. He was the best in the Quake Live, in the Quake 4 maybe not, because there was Toxic who was the top player, and used to win all the all the possible tournaments. But if you mean Quake Live, Quake 3, Quake Champions, and if I miss something, I don't know. Rafa was the player who I watched for the first time at QuakeCon 2009. He probably won this tournament against Sparty, and Rafa probably was the best Quake Live player. He is insane in every aspect of the game. How he practiced the tournaments, how he analyzed his game. I learned a lot from him. I met him in real life. Great person, awesome player, and big respect to Rafa. In my opinion, maybe he was the best Quake Live player, but also I didn't really was active with watching all the Quake Live competitions. So I know Cypher was the top player right there, but Rafa was also like top player. Maybe they both were the best. It's hard to answer for me, but as I could see those players, I guess they could be the best together. What games are in your top if we take both old and modern ones of any genres? So I don't really like the games, video games. I like Quake because it's like hobby for me, and I enjoy watching Quake and playing Quake. But if we mean other games, I used to play a lot of FIFA from EA Sports. One of the first games that I started to play on PC as a big football fan. I really enjoy playing FIFA. I used to play a lot of years with my brother together, against my brother, together with my brother. Since 20 years I used to play FIFA from EA Sports. I also like to play Football Manager. That was a pretty good game, but if you join for 1 hour, you are offline for 5 hours. So I stopped playing Football Manager because that takes so much time to play. You never want to finish. So I stopped, but I really enjoyed this game. Also, I don't really play games, so I like Quake, and that's it. Another question. Sleeper Jones. Do you consider yourself the best railer in Quake 2? If so, would you ever get into rail wars? I think you would play as a great defense feeder or just a feeder in general. If I consider myself as a best Quake 2 railer, probably you can be right. Maybe I consider myself as a best Quake 2 railer. I don't really enjoy playing rail wars, especially railing on 140 or 50 is too damn hard in Quake 2 because of the netcode. It's not really fun to play on this kind of ping, but also there is a hook or grapple in Rail Wars. I used to play a lot of Instagib in the past, but Rail Wars is not a mode that I really enjoy. Maybe with the lower ping I would play some, but with my ping from Poland it's not possible on USA server. Next question. Avens CL. Could you make a bit of guide to using item timers in Quake 2? It seems like everybody is using them nowadays. Okay, so people are using timers in Quake 2 for last 20 years, so it's not a new thing in Quake 2, because if you're gonna watch some demos from 2002 or 2003, you already can see people using them, and that was never not acceptable for the scene, for the community. because like 99% of the leagues allowed to use the timers. That's pretty different compared to the other Quakes, because Quake 2 is the only one that you can use them. And of course I can make some good guide how to use timers in Quake 2. It's not hard. You have to create file or just download from the one of the possible websites like quake2download.pl. Create folder like sounds folder in your base Quake 2. Put the files right there. Then make a bind like bind x play armor 20.wav, and that's it. But I will make this kind of video maybe together with the jump on the DM1 tutorial, so please wait if you would like to see that. But it's not pretty new thing that people are using timers. Another question, Nail AC78. Can you see any opportunity for the Quake 2 remaster to revive the Quake 2 competitive scene, since there is a lot of new players and awareness of the game? What could you be done for the old Quake 2 scene to migrate over? Well, so as I tried Quake 2 remaster, it's good and bad together. Good is one thing, they finally did remaster for Quake 2. What I don't like is the physics has changed a little bit. You don't have any TDM possibility. Like, you can create TDM server, but you don't have option to set the config properly. You cannot even join Team A or Team B. There is a lot of work to do if they want to bring some old players to Quake 2 remaster. But I don't see a chance to bring them back. Maybe like biggest tournament ever for 100k will bring back some old players to participate in this kind of competition, but let's be honest, that's not gonna happen. So I don't see chances. And one of the last question, Karol9429. Kto to jest Kapusta? Masz jakieś podejrzenia? Who is Kapusta? Kapusta was the old player on the Polish Quake 2 scene. Why he was so special? Because he never jumped. He was jumping only to pick the mega or pick the armor. He was amazing in duel. Nobody could catch him, and he was always camping on the lift. I could see the match Kapusta against Damiach, and Damiach had a problem to kill him. Like the match finished maybe 3-0 for Damiach or 3-1, but Kapusta was so special. Like, he was really hard to kill, but yeah, I probably can know who is Kapusta, but to get this kind of news, to get this kind of information, as everyone who participated in my last two LANs, they can know who was Kapusta, because I still got some special folder from the participants of my LAN on my disk, and there is a config called Kapusta config. He said he used that only for the trolling people, but he was not Kapusta. So yeah, I have some. I probably can know who was Kapusta, but I'm not gonna say that. Let's keep it quiet. Okay, another question. Omberbon. I will ask a question. You won several dueling tournaments, 2 I think, and you stopped participating in any further. Why? So, I won exactly 3 EDLs. In the one I was second place. That was my debut season in 2010-2011. All the matches from my leagues you can watch on my YouTube channel. There is a playlist in every season that I played. You have all my matches to watch. But why I stopped? I stopped because I lost motivation and happiness from participating in the EDL. A lot of players who still were Division 2 on Division 2 level, they were advanced to the Division 1 because lack of good players in Division 1. So I didn't really want to play against much worse players and later enjoy winning the leagues at the end. I more enjoyed watching like Puri or other players playing against other players, but I didn't really enjoy playing EDL anymore. Also, I played other tournaments like Summer Duel Cup organized by Jahar and Tasty Spin in 2017. Later, I participated in Quake Online 2020 and Quake Offline 2017. Yeah, Quake in the Dallas. So I played also other tournaments except EDL. I didn't stop, but I stopped enjoying EDL because league should be finished like maybe by 1 month, but when we started in October, we usually finish the league around April, so that's definitely too long to play 6 or 7 matches. I didn't like that. Okay, and another question, the last question of Q&A. When EDL? Maybe some kind of final tournament. A lot of good duelers are active currently. So I don't know when is gonna be another EDL, if ever happen. I don't think so. I'll participate. Maybe if there will be a lot of great players around, I will think about it. But at the moment, I don't see possibility to organize EDL. Maybe you can do that and we can think about it. But I don't really see a lot of good duelers on the scene right now. Maybe like 5 or 6, but that's not a lot, let's say. Maybe some kind of final tournament for 1 day or 1 week should be good idea, but I would prefer to not participate in tournament that takes half year to finish entire league, because you can play much faster 6 or 7 or 8 matches than half year. It's hard to keep your shape for so long. As someone said in the past, I don't remember, that was probably Puri, that is much easier to play something shorter, and this kind of league should be much shorter right now with this amount of players. So I don't know when is another EDL, if ever it's gonna be, but if there will be something, I will think about it for sure. If that's gonna be 1 week tournament, maybe I will be in. Okay, so that's pretty all for today. I hope I answered enough good to make you happy, guys, and sorry for my English, but I tried my best to reply for this kind of questions. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as I said in the previous questions, I will try to record some tutorial for jumps, for how to make timers for people, as someone asking. And of course I will still keep upload the old demos, new demos, maybe the actual 2v2 league that we just finished. I will try to upload all of them. Let me know if you have any favorite mods in Quake 2. Maybe I could record some CTF, as someone mentioned, or you maybe want to see some Nations Cup like USA against Brazil or Germany against Sweden from 2004. Just let me know. I will try to find the demo and record for you. Or you still enjoy watching duels like old players or 2v2 friendly duels, just let me know. Or maybe you want to watch more streams live, because now I have possibility to do streams, so I can do that. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you on the servers. Bye. Have a nice Sunday.